There's breakfast, and then there's elevated breakfast. This is not your average IHOP. We are here at the Local Nod in Huntington Beach, where the bacon's as thick as a board and the cuisine just makes your mouth water. Let's sit down with the owner, Chad, and find out what this great spot, the Local Nod, is all about. World famous Huntington Beach is a truly unique city filled with tons of great places to grab a bite to eat. We're here to help you find your next favorite spot. Welcome to Hungry in Huntington Beach. All right, guys, we are inside, and why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know what your role is over here.
All right, I'm Chad Cranford. I am one of the co-owners here at the Local Nod Cafe.
Local Nod, where did you get the name from?
Basically a tribute to Huntington Beach. I grew up here myself. My partners have been here for about a decade. We just want to kind of, tip our hat to everything that's great about Huntington Beach.
And there's quite a bit. Prior to you guys opening the Local Nod, there used to be a pretty well-known breakfast spot that was well-regarded, and most of the time when something like that closes, the feedback for the following restaurant is a little negative. But what I've noticed from all the different social media platforms, the Huntington Beach local quarantine cuisine and all that other stuff, this place is getting rave reviews, nothing but thumbs up and referring friends to come. So what do you attribute that to?
Just hard work. We put a lot of thought into our menu, our design, just the way we wanted it to come out. And we've been lucky enough to kind of deliver what we had in mind. And it's been a good outcome for us. And
you mentioned a partner. Is it just you and another partner that run the spot?
So it's my partner, Mike, and Jackie. Jackie and Mike Tran. We've been friends for about a decade now.
Is this your first foray into the restaurant business, or do you have a background in the restaurant business?
I do. I've been in the business for about 20 years. My last venture was 25 Degrees off of Main Street, but this is my baby now.
Another good spot. My wife and I have gone there quite a bit. I look around, I see a lot of cool art, I see some cool light fixtures. What would you describe the overall vibe of the Local Nod for someone who's like kind of coming in blind? What can they expect?
Something fresh, a little bit elevated as far as the cuisine's concerned. Fast, friendly service. We focused on making sure that we trained up the right people the right way.
Just like any restaurant in the beginning, you're working out some kinks, but from what I see, it seems to be operating pretty smoothly, and based on the feedback, again, everyone seems to think you're crossing all your T's and dotting your I's, which is great. So you mentioned elevated cuisine. So I looked at your menu, saw some really good stuff, but maybe you can explain to the viewers maybe what separates the Local Nod's breakfast plates from the countless other restaurants out there kind of serving breakfast.
We try to do the best version of well-known dishes. For instance, the bacon is in-house cut, basically about 4 pieces worth of bacon in one slice. And we try and spice things up and create them fresh from scratch every day.
I've heard a lot of great things online, but I think the bacon was the word that kept coming up. Everyone was referring to the bacon. I mean, everybody loves bacon, but it sounds like you said, it's an elevated version of bacon, and it seems like the public is responding very well to it. What would you say are some of the more popular dishes that you guys are serving?
Our shrimp and grits have been a hit. The chilaquiles is a great seller. Our corned beef hash has been a hit. Really, anything on the menu has gone over pretty well. So we're still working things out here and there, but overall it's been a good response.
So I'll follow that up with my favorite question. What's your favorite?
I've been told that I have to say the Chad burger since It's got my name on it.
I mean, that would be weird if you didn't say that. So. Yeah. What's the Chad burger all about?
So that's our version of a breakfast burger. It's got super thick butcher's cut bacon, our custom sirloin blend, a poached egg, hollandaise, pesto on a brioche bun.
That sounds amazing. So, I mean, anybody who's either worked in the restaurant business or even just knows about the restaurant business knows it's a very, very tough business. What would you say has been the most challenging thing about opening your baby, the Local Nod?
Honestly, so far this has been a really smooth process for us.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood for sure. We've been lucky enough to get open as we kind of planned, which is pretty unheard of in my experience. So up to this point, we've had a good experience.
Well, hopefully that continues, man. Probably has a lot to do with your experience in restaurants before. You kind of worked out some kinks, right?
I learned a lot of lessons prior that paid off on this one. Yeah.
What's the big picture plans? Are you content with just kind of keeping one local nod and making it your baby and making it thrive? Or do you have bigger plans, multiple locations, different iterations of it? I mean, what's the big picture?
Yeah, I mean, right now this is our focus. We do plan on expanding. Not only this concept, but creating other concepts. So we've got a few in mind that we'll touch into as time goes on. But right now we want to focus on perfecting this one.
Get this one all dialed in before you worry about the next one. Makes sense. As we look around, I mean, behind us, we got really killer pictures of Huntington, killer light fixtures, some wall art. What kind of inspiration or direction did you think you wanted to go in? I mean, obviously you're going back to your Huntington roots, but like the wall art, which is super rad. What made you go that direction?
We just wanted to touch base on the surf culture, you know, growing up here. When I was younger, you know, the street art is a big thing that I really enjoy, my partners really enjoy. So once we saw some artwork that was done by the artist that we brought in, St. Bon, it just all really clicked. Yeah. He knew kind of what we were looking for, and it just fit kind of that 90s style graffiti art, surf culture thing that we're going for.
I think it's a good blending of, you know, traditional roots, like I said, behind us, and like you said, modern, more a little bit edgy street art. In terms of location, maybe you could tell everybody where we are located and, you know, how you decided to choose this particular location.
We decided to jump at this location when, unfortunately, Breadcrumbs shut down 6 months ago or so. We just saw a great opportunity.
And your staff, it seems like they're a well-oiled machine. Did you guys just kind of, I mean, it's a tough labor market. Were you still able to kind of curate and hand select the right fit of staff, or is it kind of just work in progress?
My partner, Jackie, she did a great job of hiring. She was able to find great talent and then really work with those people to kind of deliver what we had envisioned for front of house. Back of house is one of my buddies and old chefs from 25 Degrees. He came over with me and he's just been doing a fantastic job.
Running your own business and watching it thrive is fulfilling in itself, but what would you say is the most fulfilling aspect of running the local nod?
I would say seeing it come together and then getting the response from family and friends, just seeing them be happy with what's being put out, seeing the joy in my kids' eyes as they come in here, and yeah, they're very excited about it.
Are you kind of looking from around the corner, waiting to see the reaction of people when they get their first bite? Or
absolutely. Probably a little too much.
And obviously everyone's smiling and you know, raving about it, so I'm sure that's the reaction you want to see, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, besides getting really hungry from smelling all the food and seeing all these great dishes, it's been a pleasure to get to know you and this restaurant. I'll be back with my wife and kids. I'm gonna spread the gospel of the local nod for sure. But before we go, maybe you could take a second, talk to the viewers, let them know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we're located at 19079 Beach Blvd, just on the corner of Beach and Garfield. You can check us out at thelocalnodcafe.com or on our Instagram at thelocalnodcafe. We're on Facebook and TikTok now as well.
Oh, wow, TikTok, cool. All right, guys, well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Hungry in Huntington Beach. Make sure you come in, see Chad and his team over here at the Local Nod, and we'll catch up with you again next time.